Alright, this is lesson 12, multiplying fractions. The objective of this lesson is students will multiply fractions. So we've been dealing with fractions, and I know that you've done these before. And again, the goal of this is so that you're really good at this basic stuff of fractions, and I'm really hoping you're more comfortable now that we've added and subtracted fractions and also mixed numbers. So today we're going to talk about multiplying fractions, which could include regular fractions or mixed numbers. Alright? And we use fractions all the time. So let's say you wanted to make a recipe for a cake, and you're like, well, I like the size of this cake, but I want it to be 2.5 times bigger. Well, you could take the recipe that calls for 3/4 cup sugar and multiply by 2.5. We don't know how to do that right now, so that's how we could apply this lesson to real life. All right. So, excuse me. These are the steps for today. If there are any mixed numbers, convert to improper fractions. Simplify if possible. Multiply numerator with numerator and denominator with denominator, and then simplify if possible again. Okay, so the one step that's really important when we multiply is we need to make sure that any mixed numbers or anything are put into improper fractions first. So that's the different step. But if you're on the video, I would like you to pause it right here and write these steps down. And then once you're done, then you could continue the video. Alright, I'm going to move on now. Here we go. Numbers 1 and 2, just watch right now. I don't want you to write down anything yet. I just want you to watch on the screen. That way you see the process, and then you're going to write this down. Okay? So, what I'd like you to do, the first, number 1, just watch. We have the directions say multiply. Multiply right here. And so what we want to do is look at 1/2 times 5/6, see if there are any mixed numbers. There aren't. 1/2 is just by itself, and so is 5/6. Okay. Next thing I want to do is see if I could simplify. Ask myself, does 2 go into 1 or into 5? No, it does not. Looking the same thing for 6. Are there any numbers that go into 5 or 1 at the same time as 6? No, there aren't. So now we're going to multiply numerator times numerator. We got 1 times 5 first. 1 times 5 is equal to 5. Okay? Then we got 2 times 6, which is equal to 12. Okay? So at the end now, we're going to just see if we could simplify. Are there any numbers that go into 12 and 5? No. So then this is our answer. Okay? So on this kind of problem, you're allowed to work horizontally because you want to do this numerator times numerator is equal to our answer, and of course denominator times denominator is equal to our answer. Alright, so that's number 1. Again, what did I do? First thing, I made sure that I didn't have any mixed numbers. If I did, I had to move them to improper fractions. Next thing I did is simplified, looking at each denominator and making sure that it doesn't have any numerator it could be simplified into. Okay, and third, I multiplied numerator times numerator, which is a numerator, and denominator times denominator, which is a denominator. Notice here that your answer could have a denominator that's different than the first part, and that you don't have to have the same denominator, which is real nice. Alright, so that's number 1. Now look at number 2. Same thing, except this time I have a negative sign, so I have a negative times a positive, right? Remember, what's a negative times a positive? It is a negative answer, right? So we want to make sure we have a negative answer ready. Next thing I got to do is check to see if I could simplify anything. Is there any number that goes into 8 and 3? Nope. How about 8 and 2? Yeah, 8 and 2 has 2 that goes into it. So this is really like saying 1 up here and 4 down here. So we just simplified. For here we have 5. Does anything go into 5 and 1 and 3? No. So now we're going to multiply numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So we got 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 5 is 20. Okay? That's how we do number 2. Oh, also, before we box our answer, we need to make sure we could simplify anything. On this particular one, we can't, so we're just going to box our answer. Alright, so that's numbers 1 and 2. I'm going to do one more that I want you to copy down for homework. So don't copy anything yet. Just look at number 3 now. Okay, number 3. We got 1/3 plus 2.5. Uh-oh, we got a fraction times a decimal, right? Well, I know 2.5 is just like saying 2 and 1/2. So I'm going to just rewrite it like this. We got 1/3 times 2 1/2. Then I want to multiply this. This is a mixed number. We need to turn it into an improper fraction. So we need to take 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 1, which is 5. So we got 5 halves times 1/3. Okay? Again, how did I get the 5 here instead of 1? I multiplied 2 times this 2 here, which is 4, and then I added this 1 up here. Okay? And then we had copied this 2 down here. We need that to be copied. Alright, just like before, we're going to multiply, make sure we can simplify. 3, does it have any numbers that goes into 1 or 5? No. 2, does it have any numbers that go into 5 or 1? No. So we're going to now multiply. 1 times 5 is equal to 5. 3 times 2 is equal to 6, right? And then we check to see if our answer can be simplified, or are there any numbers that go into 5 and 6? Nope. So we're all done. And I know I got it right because I got a positive times a positive is equal to a positive. Alright, so what I'd like you to do, you might need to rewind the video. Actually, I want you to write down numbers 1 and 2 in your notes after your steps, okay? And then you're going to write down, after you're done writing this part down, you should go back to the video to number 3, or I'm sorry, number 4 here. Don't worry about number 3 here. So you're copying 3 problems. You're copying numbers 1, number 2 here, and number 4 here, okay? So, but on number 4, what I'd like you to do is write down next to it on your paper, make like a little line like this, and write down what are you doing on each step. Step 1, I rewrote the problem as a fraction, right? I'm not going to write the whole thing here, but that's what I'd like you to do, showing each step here. 2, what did you do? 3, what did you do? 4, what did you do? Okay? On that one problem, not on all of them, just on number 4. So again, what are we doing? Write down number 1, number 2. You should pause the video after writing down numbers 1 and 2 here, and then you're going to go to number 4. Alright? That concludes this lesson. We'll talk about it more tomorrow. Have a good night.